Hello, welcome to episode 15 of an ongoing series where we basically take the camera anywhere we want and we try to find some interesting things about some of our favorite games. And with that said, let's get going. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Whomp King. The reason why we're looking at him today is because it turns out that when you defeat Whomp King, he has an expression unique to himself. But because he's face down when you beat him, you don't get to see it. However, if we manipulate the camera below the stage, we can see that the Whomp King loses a tooth and he just, well, I don't really know what to make of his face there, but yeah, we'll just say that's the look of defeat. Oh no, hold on a second, I think I know what's going on here. I think he's shocked that he has a crack on his head now. So, many of you already know what we're about to look at here, and I'm sure that many of you are hoping that we find something new about this discovery, but unfortunately there isn't, and I have to put it into the show because if I don't, everyone's going to be asking about it, understandably so. But for those that don't know already, in Shiverburn Galaxy, there are some really creepy figures staring at you from atop the cliffside. And who are these figures? Well, in the game's file system, they are listed as Hell Valley trees, and they don't serve any other purpose than to stare at you. One thing that I can tell you, unfortunately I can't show you, but I can confirm that, I always thought that they were walking along the cliffside the entire time, and that's why every time you went into the first person mode, you would see them. But in reality, your level is so small, and the cliffside is so big, that you're not traveling enough distance to ever escape them. But they are staying in that single spot the entire time. So right at the beginning of the game we get to see a box full of carpenter tools to signify that they're going to be working on the Mario ship. But at no point do you ever get to see all of the contents of the box. Until now. If you look behind the box there's some added rope, but inside the box there's actually two wallpapers. Now these aren't just two random pieces of wallpaper, these are actually wallpapers both used on the Mario ship itself later in the game. So the star wallpaper's used in the core room, and Lubba, I am loving the place. Love what you did with it. And the love carpeting is used to hone Kamek's magic powers. Don't know what I'm talking about? I'm making a reference to my Mario Kart episode. I probably shouldn't do that. Now, I bet you didn't put that much thought into the bonus rooms and where they would actually be when you're going through the levels. Well, baboom, baby! That'll get your brain juices flowing. You might even say that's one way to think outside the box. Ugh, it's the kind of pun that just hurts you the second you say it. So I really wanted to show out this next scene because when you give it a new perspective, you begin to really appreciate how beautiful the scenery is. As you can see in the background, it's waterfalls, all waterfalls. But when we take the camera all the way to one of the waterfalls, it becomes much more apparent that we are actually sitting inside of a dome of waterfalls that pours into a pool of giant water. Ugh, like seriously, that is some good imagination right there. I wish something like that existed on Earth. Here's a 2-for-1 deal. That floating box you're seeing right now belongs to Lubba. Anytime you talk to Lubba, there's always a floating box inside of his body, at all times. But another thing that I happen to notice, Lubba actually has white around his eyes. And it looks like they changed this for promotional art. Because I looked at all the promotional art for Lubba, and he appears to have fully blue eyes. But in-game, if you really take a close look, he actually has white around his eyes. And in the medical field, that's called sclera. He has sclera, guys. Did I just teach you something? Did I just teach you something that you might be able to use in the real world? Well, good. I'm glad to know that deep down in my heart that people are going to be walking around in the world letting others know that Lubba has white around his eyes. So I had to point this out because when you first start the game, there's a PD Piranha Plant egg that you can crack open to start a boss battle. But I checked in there's no PD Piranha. But in this rematch fight at the end of the game, PD Piranha's walking around on the planet. But this time, PD is in there, and he's fully rendered. And as you can see, he's walking around very awkwardly. You know, I almost feel so embarrassed for him that cracking open his egg, he should be thanking me for that. I'm doing you a favor, buddy. Alright, I'm warning you right now, this is going to be a spoiler, so if you need to click out, please click out now. Anyway, after you beat the game, Rosalina finally shows up, talks for a little bit, and brings the hub world from Mario Galaxy 1 with her. And the detail that they put into this one little scene is immaculate. Almost. there is one aspect of this little hub world that the developers decided to be a little cheap on. As you may recall, the kitchen in Mario Galaxy has silverware and cups strewn about on the outside of the walls. Now don't get me wrong, I don't expect them to recreate every little utensil to make this look 100% to scale here. But what they decided to do is a little bit on the funny side. As you can see, they are protruding blocks that have bland colored silhouettes to represent the silverware and cups. Oh, I love it. I knew that was off. I had to check, and I knew it. I knew it. Alright, now why are we taking a look at Bao Bao today? It's because there's actually a very interesting discovery. Now, unfortunately, I have to do this within the confines of just moving the camera around, but did you know that Bowser in Super Mario Galaxy 2 has his back fully rendered? Not his shell, the backside that wears the shell. So if you wanted to, you could rip the assets out of the game and have Bowser without his Koopa shell. Now I know it's a little hard to see, and I know it's a little disturbing, you know, to be inside Bao Bao's body. The Bao Bao body. But I assure you, what you're looking at right now is the backside of Bowser's torso. And we're going to finish this episode off by taking a look at Princess Peach's castle. And at the very beginning of the game, no less. How poetic. So if we take a closer look at Princess Peach's castle in Mario Galaxy 2, we can see that the castle had a little bit of a redesign. Now that door below the stained glass window was added in Mario Galaxy 1. But below that is more stained glass windows above the main entrance. And what's really cool about this is that it's the same exact model used in Mario Galaxy, but they changed the textures of this particular archway to be stained glass windows instead. And another thing that they added as well, completely unique to Mario Galaxy 2 itself, is that these pointed rooftops, I don't even, somebody please tell me what you're actually supposed to call these things. But anyway, they gutted them out so that you could actually have people standing in them. Look, you can build your watchtowers, you can strengthen your defense. But when the Bao Bao wants to steal the princess, he's gonna take her away. Expect no less. Oh, man. Alright, guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that this episode was a little bit late. It was all Pat's fault. It was your fault, Pat.
It's not my fault. Team Red.
It was your fault.
It's not my fault. I poop everywhere.
You always manage to say something that throws me completely for a loop. I have no idea how to react to that. Anyway, it was my fault. just so we're clear. But yeah, I hope that it was worth the wait. And hey, guess what? I'm gonna make you guys wait even longer. Oh, that's gonna get me a downvote or two. But it's for a purpose. There's a game that I've always wanted to do, but I've kind of held off for this long because it's gonna take me a little while to make. I know it's going to take me a little while to make. So, you know, but we gotta get to it sometime, right? And I'm very excited about it. And there's gonna be no vote this week because I'm gonna be working on this particular game. What game is it? Well, I'll let you guys figure it out. Alright, man. And woman. Plural.
Child.
Plural. And children. Yes, and the small ones. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Sure. It's not my fault.